Zionic, good morning, good morning. How are you? First one on I see here. Brandon, what's up, man? What's going on? That's it, Zionic, I told you. You'll piss all that out, too. Chug that water, baby. Chug that water. You'll piss all that out quick. That's it. I had a good chest day today. Not a great sleep last night, so I was kind of dragging today, but I still went pretty hard. I'd give it a 9 out of 10 as far as workouts go. I didn't do any heavy incline dumbbells today. I decided to press on the Smith machine instead. Did some giant sets at the end. Felt good. Felt good. Felt pretty good. I'm going to get this cardio in now and keep it going. Yeah, when I was at the camp, I had taught a couple of guys about intermittent fasting, and a couple of them had lost a lot of weight. One of the guys lost like 80 pounds, and in total, he actually hit 100 pounds at one point, but then he started putting some muscle on. But anyway, he got really extreme with it, him and his buddy. And they kept on wanting to challenge themselves how far they could take their fast. So once they had successfully completed multiple 24-hour fasts, they decided that they wanted to do a 48-hour fast. Then they wanted to do a 3-day fast. Eventually, these guys worked up. They did a 5-day fast, which I was like, you guys are nuts. You guys are nuts. But yeah, crazy to see how they did the 5-day fasts. And, you know, at the camp, what they were doing was buying, you could, on the commissary, you could buy these pickles. And they were not eating the pickle, obviously, but they were using the pickle juice for hydration purposes. And yeah, they got they got very serious with it. They both got in very good shape, both of those guys. Let's see, Brandon Rogers, good morning, good morning. Hey, Jim, getting my wisdom teeth taken out tomorrow, and I'm very scared. Well, I can tell you, you have every right to be scared. It's not a fun thing to do. I had one wisdom tooth pulled out, that's it. And, I'll tell you my story. I had one wisdom tooth that it was hurting, my ear was hurting so bad. I was scared. I thought I had like an ear infection or something. Got checked out. They said, there's nothing wrong with your ears. You should go see a dentist. Went to the dentist. There's, oh, you got a wisdom tooth that's growing literally backwards. We got to get that bad boy out. And was not fun. But I'll tell you, I took the pain medicine for the first day after. And then after that, I didn't even need it. Now, I just had one. You know, some people got to go in there and get them all taken out. But you recover. I will tell you, mouth stuff recovers very fast. Thank God. So you'll be, you'll have, you know, one rough day. And then you'll start getting better quick. I promise you. I promise you. But as far as like the procedure goes, it ain't that big of a deal. I can promise you that. You're just going to be done, and when you're done, your mouth's going to be all packed up. And, you know, as time goes by, see, I don't want to scare you. I think they would tell you about this if it were the case. Nathan, good morning. Mancini, so the doctor said what I had was pretty rare. The tooth was completely backwards inside my jaw. So they had to break my jaw with literally a little hammer thingy. A hammer and a chisel, I swear to God. So, you know, she Novocained me up real good. And I told her, I was like, listen, I have a really freaky, you know, pain tolerance, so I'm not really that worried about it. I remember I actually posted it on Facebook or wherever back in the day when this happened, because it literally was completely backwards. Like, how the hell does that happen? I only had one, I've literally only had one my entire life that had to come out. And the one I had, so they take a little hammer and chisel in the back, and it's literally like, because she had to break my jaw, crack my jaw to get in there and get it out. And let me tell you, this thing was stuck in there. She was stuck in, it was stuck. She had to yank that sucker out. But she was really, really nice. The dentist was so nice. And honestly, I recovered really fast. Fun fact about this story, guys. Brianna, Edmund, Mancini, some of you guys might know this story if you've been following me for a long time. Some of you won't. But the reason that I got Tammy, the cat, was because of my wisdom teeth. I got out of there. Now, I'm really not a good with pain medication. Pain medication messes me up, which I suppose is a good thing. That's why I never got addicted to like painkillers or anything. Because I don't get like the good ass feeling that most people get from painkillers. I get crazy, right? And I also sometimes get really nauseous. But anyway, so they gave me Percocets. Took the Percocet. I'm in the car, and I'm on Craigslist. Why? I have no idea. I don't even think I've ever been on Craigslist in my life. And I started thinking to myself, Jack is really lonely when I'm by myself. How could I do this to him? How could I leave him alone? He needs a companion. He needs his own little kitty to hang out with while I'm gone. And I was on Craigslist. There was a guy, it literally said kittens, $20. And my wife at the time, Celeste, now ex-wife, I was like, hey, I want to get a kitty for Jack. She's like, I think that the painkillers are screwing you up. And she was like, you've been saying all kinds of nonsense. You don't want a kitty. I was like, we need to get a kitty for Jack. I want to go right now. So I literally left the dentist, drove down to, it was like past Margate, not a good area. Somewhere down there, there's an actual trailer park. First time being in a trailer park in Florida. Go into the trailer park. I'm driving in a Bentley, by the way. Give me a break, right? And I'm texting with the guy, and he was like, are you in a black Bentley? I'm like, yes. Dude comes outside, light-skinned, black-eyed, dreads, kind of like Rasta looking, comes out with his lady. She's a big girl, covered in tattoos. And they were like, you want to see the cats? I was like, yeah. So we go inside. This house was crazy. And there was like a pregnant pit bull laying on the floor, huge swollen pregnant belly, big nipples, and the kittens were crawling all over the place, crawling on the kibble, and they were like, yeah, they're good with the dog. And I was like, perfect, because I have a dog. And this one little one was sitting by my feet meowing, and I picked her up. She was so cute. And I just looked at the guy, and I was like, $20? And he was like, yeah. Gave him $20, and that was it. I left. That was all the way back in freaking 2014 or 15, whenever it was. And that was how I had my first cat, Tammy, down there. Good old Tammy. Now she lives in the warehouse at Blackstone. So be careful with the painkillers. They might make you do some crazy shit. But yeah, I didn't do the anesthesia either. I just got the local Novocaine. And it was, it was definitely scary when they brought the little hammer and stuff out. But I was surprisingly good in a very fast amount of time. So mouth stuff heals very fast. Mouth stuff heals very fast. Mancini, you had to get a sinus surgery after? Damn. Zyanic, you added a veteran to my stack. Broncaid, that's a good price. That's what I used to use. Back in the day, people used to ask me what the best fat burning products were, the best combination. Personally, I was never a big fan of clenbuterol. I didn't like the way it made me feel. Most of my athletes, we really didn't use clenbuterol unless they were somebody that was just obsessed with it, and I allowed it. But we did use a lot of ECA stack. You can't go wrong with the ECA stack. Very simple. 200 milligrams of caffeine, 25 milligrams of ephedrine, and a baby aspirin. Do that once in the morning when you get up before your cardio or your workout. Do a second one in the afternoon. You get it all. Thermogenesis, appetite suppression, energy. Jennifer says, don't buy a cat brand. Yes, you don't need to get the cat. But I promise you, mouth stuff heals fast. And Jack and Tammy became best friends. Now that he's old, he doesn't give a shit about the kittens the way he used to. Wow, Mancini. Mancini, I think that you had a very rare case with something like that, you know? Because people get their wisdom teeth ripped out all the time. Edmund, they're delicious. They're delicious. I got my hands on all 3 flavors. My favorite is the Rocket Pop. Oof. I've been drinking that all day. It's interesting, New World Muscle. Yeah, a lot of people, you know, when I got out of prison, the dental in prison is so bad. It is so bad. So when I got out of prison and I went to the dentist, I had a lot of issues. And I had some cavities that I had to get filled. I do not like going to the dentist. I hate going to the dentist. I don't like it. So I had to get a root canal. That wasn't fun. And I had to get a tooth literally extracted. They were like, this tooth's gotta go. And I'll tell you guys, I'm gonna be dead up serious with you. Of all of the shit that they did to me, the tooth extraction was not painful. Honestly, the most painful was the deep cleaning. You go away for a few years and you don't see a dentist and you don't really have a normal toothbrush and you go through periods of time where you can't brush your teeth at all and your teeth get pretty fucked up, excuse my language. Let me tell you something, that deep cleaning was rough. And they could only do half my mouth. Then I had to go back and do the other half. The second, I would say, would be the root canal. The root canal was kind of sucky. Wasn't a fan of the whole root canal experience. So you might think, man, they got to rip my tooth out. Honestly, the tooth came out not that hard. The guy said it was a little stubborn, but I mean, the whole process was pretty quick. And again, it healed up pretty fast. D-Man says, PJ, get a juicer and juice beets, carrots, and cilantro daily. It will clean all that crap out of your body and raise your light energy. Life-changing, just try it, please. You know, I did a juice cleanse years ago when I first moved down here, D-Man. For 30 days, actually. I forget what my exact protocol was, but I had 2 meals that were from the juice, and then I ate a normal, like, you know, balanced dinner. But I did beets, kale, carrots, cucumber. There was quite a bok choy. There was quite a few things that went into this big ass juice cleanse. And I detoxed from caffeine when I did that cleanse also. It was an interesting time. Badabuka says, what you know now about training, nutrition, supplements, could you have made Nathaniel Archer a beast in high school? Oh, hell yeah. Hell yes. Good old Nathan Archer. I wonder what he's doing these days. It's funny. Wow, Mancini. How about that? How about that? Marissa is actually supposed to go to the dentist today. We have another action pack today. So yesterday we went to Boca West to check out the hospital where we may be having the baby. today we go to see the special doctor, not the midwife, the specialist, the perinatal doctor, I believe is what her title is. Let's see, Nathan says, speaking of caffeine detox, I forgot my arson at home today. It's going to be a long day at work. What's your work schedule, Nathan? How many hours you there? It's definitely, when you're used to something like that and you don't have it, it's tough. It's tough. Mancini, your cousin is your dentist? Oh, that's nice. Good to have somebody in there. Thank you, Mancini. I appreciate that. So right now what's going on is, you know, I always tell you guys everything. So the baby is breached. He has been breached the whole entire time. So what does that mean? He's literally upside down. He's backwards. He's not the way that he's supposed to be. And he has time to turn around. But we're running out of time for him to turn around, and that is why the doctors want us to keep getting in there. So what we started doing is some different techniques, stretch type position, exercise type positions, to encourage him to flip around. And we also started trying, Marissa's putting a heating pack on the bottom of her stomach and a cold pack on the top, in the hopes that little baby's like, yo, it's cold up here, let me go down this way towards the heat. And he flops himself around the right way. Let's see, 6 to 2:30, then gym 2:45, 4:15, so more than hours. Oh, I forgot my name. Oh no, so you got nothing. You got nothing. Can you get somebody to bring you a damn energy drink, Nathan? Get yourself a turbo from Dunkin' with that shot of espresso, and it's what I used to do back in the day. When I forgot my stuff, I'd tell my buddy Guy, swing by here with a turbo from Dunkin'. He'd come in with that big ass black coffee with that extra shot of espresso in it. New World Muscle. Keith broke a tooth at work yesterday. Oh no, that's terrible. That's terrible. That's terrible. I hate having to do all that stuff. Listen, I had to do it all when I got out of prison. I had to do a root canal. I had to do fillings, the extraction. I had a laundry list of shit I had to do. Head-to-head Bob Harris versus Nick Walker. Well, I mean, you couldn't get two more dramatically different physiques. In today's judging, Bob Harris doesn't stand a chance. Now, that being said, I would be much happier to look like Bob Harris than Nick Walker. If I looked like Bob Harris, I would be proud. I personally wouldn't want to look like Nick Walker. He's a freak, he's a monster, it's cool, absolutely. But I would never want to look like that. Now, Bob Harris, whew, listen, I'm not gay like Bob was, but if I was, Mancini, he's doing the same crazy stuff he's always doing. Oh, there you go, bro. You just pop a couple of those pear burns. Get a little bit of that pear burn energy. You'll be all right. You'll be all right. So let's talk about the watch now, by the way, guys. The watch, we talked about this yesterday. And my suspicion that the calorie burning and monitoring isn't as accurate, which is okay. It's still cool. And I would say that arm movements absolutely are a factor, because did chest today, there's a lot of moving around of the arms, and it had me burning about 200 calories more than my leg workout yesterday, which was a killer damn leg workout. And there's just no way that's right. So we're gonna see. I'm gonna keep maybe I have to tinker around with the setting. I have it on the functional strength training setting. There's not a bodybuilding setting on here. You would think at this point, with how much bodybuilding has you know, how much more popular it's become, that there would be a bodybuilding setting, but there isn't. Yeah, Badabuco, I feel the same way. I feel the same way. Yes, Mancini, I did. Or Marissa did, I should say. She got it for me. It was a very nice birthday present. Monitor all the steps, monitor all that stuff. Heart rate. It just actually warned me that I'm in a loud environment. Sound levels hit 90 decibels. Around 30 minutes at this level can cause temporary hearing loss. How funny is it? My own voice is setting that off. My own voice. Hopefully you guys don't have me turned on too loud, because I could be affecting your long-term hearing with how loud that I talk. How crazy is that? Yes, we have the names picked out, Brian Rogers. We're keeping it a secret till the little guy comes. The watch talks. Mine hasn't talked yet. I see there's a walkie-talkie thing on it. Very cool stuff. So anyway, I saw there was a lot of discussion today about Kendrick Lamar's performance that most of us thought was terrible. People saying that it was outstanding and that we just didn't get the message. I definitely didn't get the message personally. I don't know that I think there should be a message that needs to be put out at the Super Bowl halftime show, because, you know, it's just entertainment between the halves of football. Bolshoi is here, thankfully. We love when Bolshoi jumps on here. All right, Coors, Breathless, or Ronan Keating, Life is a Roller Coaster. I'm going with Ronan Keating on that one. I agree, Mancini. Maxi Priest, Close to You, or Lisa Stansfield, Been Around the World. What, who else did that song? Oh, Biggie. Biggie got into it with that song. He used that on the track. That's a good one. I can't find my baby. Do you prefer a stronger workout partner than you, or are you the stronger one? I prefer no workout partner. I really don't like to have a workout partner. That being said, I've trained with guys like Evan Centopani, who's stronger than me. Guy Sister Nino, who's pretty much equally as strong as me. My training partner now, who's not as strong as me. My leg days, I had a guy that could squat more than me, but I could smoke him on everything else. I like a pace. Most people don't like the pace that I'm at. But the main thing, it's just a strange thing, guys. I wish I wasn't like this. I wish I could change this about myself. But I don't like speaking in the gym. I don't like to talk when I'm in the gym. It's a weird thing. It's a weird thing, but I get so intensely focused that I don't want to listen to anybody. I don't want to talk to anybody. You could ask me questions. It throws me off. I like to train in silence. And even though I have amazing music playing in the gym, and I feel the tempo and the energy of the music that I couldn't tell you like what I heard today in the gym. So for that reason, I don't really like having a training partner, because there's too much discussion that goes back and forth. Let's see here. CC Peniston, keep on walking. That's a good one. TLC, Ain't Too Proud, also a good one. They what? Okay. You want to shut that and put the doggies away so they don't mess with the girl or whatever? You might want to tell the dentist maybe too, say, I might be a little late. I guess you see how fast the girl sets you up, you know? Yeah. Love you. CC Peniston, keep on walking. That was a good one. TLC, Ain't Too Proud to Beg. Also a good one. I think I'm going TLC. Cause if I need it in the morning or the middle of the night, I ain't too proud to beg, no. That was an old one. That was an old one. Old TLC, back in the day, they used to wear all the baggy clothes, then they got a little sexy with it. All of the past Super Bowl performances are run by Rock Nation, Jay-Z's label. So all of the recent shows are just occult symbolism bullshit. Oh, okay. No wonder I didn't pick up on it. Strange. Why did SZA lip sync? Also, the one thing that I did enjoy was seeing my girl Serena Williams out there. Bolshoi, Lady Antebellum, Need You Now, or Rascal Flatts. What hurts the most? I don't like country music, so I'm going with a little Lady Antebellum on that one. I actually like that song. I'm not a country guy. I know Rascal Flatts is great, but I prefer that Lady Antebellum. It's a little softer for my taste. Did I receive money from a guy who wanted your dirty, stinky socks? So, no. There was a guy that wanted my socks, a guy that wanted my sneakers, a guy that wanted my posing trunks. AJ Styles or Eddie Guerrero? Definitely Eddie Guerrero. Definitely Eddie Guerrero. Listen, I've seen some people break down. Mancini, I saw some people break down everything that that Kendrick did and how genius it was. And I was like, man, that's way too deep for me. That's way too deep for me. Sorry. That's way too deep for me. Melanie, good morning. So Nathan says he brought up the lip syncing thing with a girl at work yesterday and got a 20-minute explication about how she was not lip syncing. She was 100% lip syncing, guys. 100%. There was a lot of background track playing too. Why do black men love big women? I don't know. That's interesting. I think that you need to make sure you realize, though, Bolshoi, they specifically love big white women. They love big white women. They love white women in general, from what I've learned over the years, but they'll take those big white ones that most white guys don't want. Badabuco says, Chris Cormier, Flex Wheeler, Kevin LeBron, Sean Ray are better than Lee Haney and Dorian, and people go nuts when it's brought up. I know. Dorian has a really, really, really devout fan base. And rightfully so, he was the first true freak. The first true freak was Dorian. Ronnie gets most of the credit for it, but Dorian was the first true freak. Dorian came out and it was like, whoa. Dude started really pushing it after that. And then you had some absolute monsters like Nasser El Sanbadi. Nasser was a beast. But up to that point, Lee Haney had a good combination of size and symmetry. And because he had height also, he stood out on stage. But that being said, all those guys were considerably better than him. Lou Ferrigno and Pumping Iron looks like he could be Jason Genova's dad. That's very funny. Yeah, I didn't think the national anthem was very good this year either, I will say. Who among bodybuilders looked the best in a suit or tuxedo? Well, listen, a lot of the big guys look absolutely terrible in suits. Absolutely terrible. Ronnie usually looks ridiculous in a suit. None of them get them tailored the right way. I don't know why. Most of these bodybuilders do not get them tailored the right way. If I still count as a bodybuilder, I look a bazillion times better in a suit than any of them because I get my suits tailored the right way. Most of them just be looking like giant boxes in their suits and tuxedos. I'm telling you, even guys that are small. I saw Guy Sister Nino at a show handing out a trophy, and I was like, who the hell? This has got to be one of his old suits from when he was much bigger. Who had the best abs in your opinion? Flex Wheeler had amazing. Yeah, Flex Wheeler had fantastic abs. There was a bodybuilder named Ahmad Haidar who had some of the deepest separation I've ever seen when it comes to abs. He had such crazy abs. They called him Abzilla. His abs were so crazy. So his were very, very separated. Very, very, very separated. But yeah, Flex had really fantastic abs. Thank you, Mancini. Usher, Nice and Slow, or Leah, 1 in a million. Man, it's hard to go against Usher. I just wanna take it nice and slow. For sure, Usher on that one. Marissa has somebody coming over here to give her some saline and IV shortly. Hopefully they don't get too spooked by me singing and yelling on this thing. What happened to the boogeyman? I think he's still around. I'm not sure what his competitive plans are. He is enormous. I was on a plane with him, and when he got on the plane, he sat down, and I was like truly blown away by how big he is. He is humongous. He's got to be at least 6 feet tall. He's a very, very big dude. I'm not sure what his plans are, but I think he's still around. Nigerian, I believe. These Nigerian guys have stupid genetics, man. Stupid genetics. These Andrew Jack Sampson, because they're tall, you know? Something to be said about those genetics out there. Did he make sure to use lube before he destroyed you? He gave it a little bit of the hot tour. He gave me a little bit of the hot tour. Like that girl. Melanie says he's also one of the nicest people ever. He was awesome. I love running into. Oh, good. See that, guys? See that? Not all bodybuilders are dicks. A lot of them are very nice. A lot of them are very nice. I'll tell you, the nicest guy, man, after all these years, as busy as Jay Cutler is, this guy is involved in so many different business operations, travels like crazy. Still texted me on my birthday, hey man, I just want to wish you a really special birthday. I'm happy things are going well for you now. I was like, damn man, Jay freaking Cutler, as busy as he is, taking the time to message me on my birthday. That's just a guy who has really, really, really amazing courtesy and just the way he treats people, you know? Because listen, of course I expect my boys like Guy and whatnot are gonna message me on my birthday. Badabuko says, I didn't realize how hardcore Ken Waller was pumping iron. Yes, you're right. You're right. He was a big part of that crew. There was a lot that they could have did with that they didn't, Badabuko. Potato. The Last American Virgin, 1982, or Blue Lagoon. Blue Lagoon's classic. I'm trying to think of The Last American Virgin. Tell me a little bit more about that one. Potato, potato. Twisted Sister, I Wanna Rock. Fuck T. Snyder for not letting Trump use this song. Or Beastie Boys, You Gotta Fight for Your Right to Party. Two very good songs. I think it's pretty lame though that Twisted Sister would not allow that. So I'm going with Beastie Boys in that one. He really is, Keith. He's a really, really great guy. This has been an interesting one today. We've really had, for the most part, we've had no fitness talk today, which is okay. Which is okay. Pumping Iron filmmakers said, Robbie, don't flex, please, for Arnold. There was a lot I would have liked to see in that. Listen, most bodybuilding fans have seen Pumping Iron plenty of times. I've probably watched Pumping Iron at least 100 times, without exaggeration. I remember when Generation Iron started to do their thing. I gotta admit, I still think Pumping Iron is the best bodybuilding documentary. Dee Snider looked like a woman before it was cool. You are right. You are right about that, Nathan. Dee Snider's in very good shape still. Whether he is a douche or not. Whew. So what else were we talking about here? Yeah, so somebody brought up earlier the BSL aminos. I'm very, very pleased with these. They did a hell of a job. They did a hell of a job on the aminos. The aminos taste phenomenal. No aftertaste, no shitty aftertaste like a lot of amino products have. Admittedly, the resurgence did. I'll call it. What do you think Doyle von Frankenstein's cycle is? Who is Doyle von Frankenstein? Tell me who it is. What should we do for the Chris Luke workout video this week, guys? We're back in the gym this week. By the way, Genova's coming in on Wednesday. I know it would be nice to see him on camera. But he doesn't allow her. Oh, the Misfits guitar player. Oh, yes, big guy. Big guy. That's a good question. I would be shocked if he wasn't on the Saucy Sauce. If you could have additional body part, what would you pick? Second heart to give you unlimited cardio. Second stomach to eat huge meals. Second Johnson. I'd probably go with the second heart. I think if you had two hearts, there's a lot if you think about what that could accomplish. And if one is starting to fail, one would hope that the other one, you got a backup heart. That's a great backup. That's a great backup organ to have. Yeah, you're right. You're right, Nathan. I would make a movie on Vince's gym. Yes, that would have been an interesting one to see. I'm sure someone's asked about what the difference in the colors of kratom powder, how little it gives you a boost or a lot has an opiate effect. So here's the deal. The kratom leaf, the way it's grown, I'm going to give you Can you guys still hear me? Before I go on with this explanation, can somebody please confirm that you still hear me? Because I had a call come in, I shut it down, and a lot of times when that happens, it screws up the audio. So before I explain that, you can hear me? Okay, good. Fleetwood Mac Chain, great song, or Midnight Oil, that's already definitely Chain, Fleetwood Mac. So back to the kratom. Let me go into the kratom explanation. So I've had kratom experts really walk me through this. The kratom itself, the leaf grows one way. So all kratom has the same alkaloids in it, right? So when you see like the ground up kratom, the mitragane is what it's called, which is the alkaloid that is in the kratom that does all these great things. What happens is when they cultivate the leaf, sort of like if you think about when people grow marijuana, right? You have indica, sativa, they cultivate it, and when they cut it, they get different things. Well, with the kratom, when it is cut and then dried, depending on where in the process it is cut, whether it's shorter, farther along, in the middle, that determines what you get as far as the color. Now, green versus red versus white, the way that your body metabolizes them and the way that these different receptors that you have that connect with the kratom give a different effect. The white kratom works a lot with your caffeine receptors. So it has a very speedy type of feeling, a more energizing of feeling. The red kratom has an affinity to the opiate receptors, so it is very, very good for pain. And the green kratom, interestingly, has a very good, as far as the receptors that it'll go to, has a very good response with calming and sleep. Well, in theory, if you have enough of any of them, you're kind of going to get a little bit of all of this, right? So myself personally, because I've experimented with so much, so damn much, right? When you break it down and you have a real good quality source, right? So somebody is like, listen, this is cut at this time, this is cut at this time, this is cut. When you look at it, as far as packaged in a kilo, next to each other, you can actually see the subtle differences between the white and the green and the red. However, they're all still green looking. It's just how dull or not dull of a green it is, because again, like I said, the leaf is the same no matter what. It's just how far along was it cut and dried. That's what changes it. It's sort of like, to think of something else, it's like, if you think about it, opium, for instance, versus Percocet and all these things. They all work with your opiate receptors. It's just you're going to get a different type of opiate-like effect. So kratom has the ability to work with a lot of different receptors, not just opiate receptors, sort of like cannabis and cannabinoids. And cannabinoids have a lot of different receptors that they can work with to do different things. So when you get to a point where you've tried so many different things and you have a reputable source, right? Like for instance, the person that I go to is a massive kratom wholesaler. So he creates business for a lot of companies. So I've literally seen it all next to each other. And you can see the subtle differences. And then at that point, you can try for yourself and you will see there is a considerable difference. And there's typically going to be people that will say, no, it's not, it's all the same. I encourage those people to go and try, because I'll tell you, if I brew my tea with green versus white, the feeling from the green is considerably different than the white. I could tell you easily, I could tell you which one is which. Marissa happens to like that one more because she says it makes her relaxed and help her sleep. And she could tell the difference also because, again, we've been doing it for so long. So it all comes down to when it is cut and cultivated. Well, Melanie, I will tell you though, on the subject of Kelly Dunn, right, a personal friend of mine, he has sold red strains, you know what I mean? So that, what does that tell you? You're welcome, Keith. No, Scatman. No. No. Yeah, I've gone through this for years with trying all these different things and all this other stuff, and speaking to the different gurus and whatnot, because in my early years of kratom, I really wasn't a fan of it. I didn't get any of these positive effects that people say they were getting, and I was buying different brands, and I'm telling you, I was taking so much. I would buy these pills. People would be like, oh, take 4 pills. Oh no, take 6. Man, I would take 15. Like, I don't notice anything. Me and Singerman went through all this in the day. It wasn't until I met a guy that said to really appreciate kratom, you need to enjoy it as a tea. You need to brew it so those alkaloids can get released the right way and absorbed in a way where you can really feel the potency. And that was what was, I think, very life-changing for me. Let's see, Bolshoi. If I worked as a pimp, what would be your marketing strategy to explore the market? So as a pimp, so I'm pimping hoes. Well, I'd have to really promote an environment where they're understanding that they're going to get a good cut. I'm providing protection. I'm providing the right guys, right? Maybe there'll be a drug screening process. Scatman says they just criminalized kratom in Sweden. The article said if you chew or drink it as tea, it has the same effects as opiates. Yeah, they're trying to go pretty hard on it here. It keeps getting shot down, so we'll see what happens. So, from what I understand, is that RFK is interested in learning more about it. So there'll be a halt. But there's been a lot in front of Congress to try to stop it that hasn't come through yet. But there are multiple states that have made kratom illegal at the state level so far. Let's see. Jesse J, Domino, I'm feeling sexy and free, or Carly Rae Jepsen. Call me maybe, I just met you, and this is crazy. I think I gotta go with that one. That was a very, very catchy tune. Badabuka says, the pissed off guy, Sister Nino, I asked how he likes CrossFit training because of his physique. That's a good one, Badabuka. What'd he say? Daft Punk, one more time, or Fatboy Slim, praise you. I honestly felt that song was kind of annoying. I wanna praise you like I should. That one was on all the time for a while. I'm going with Daft Punk on that one. Diana Ross, I'm coming out. I'm not the world to know. Or In Excess, Need You Tonight. Ooh. I need you to. In Excess, that was a good one. Yeah, Melanie, I'm on the pro colors thing. It's one of those things where it's kind of like the science-based training versus the bro training. It's one of those things where you figure it out yourself through enough experimentation. This was something that happened with the Gorilla Chemist and I. Years ago, I'll give you an example. I was using agmatine instead of arginine in one of our first pre-workouts, and it made a profound difference. And Gorilla Chemist was like, there's no data that shows that agmatine is better than arginine. In fact, the opposite. I was like, I don't care what your data says, bro. I've been training for 30 years, wherever it was at that point. I've tried all sorts of shit. adding this in made a profound difference. And so I said, make one that's better. And he was not able to make a hype that was better without it, which is why you see a lot of people use agmatine in pre-workout still. It's just sometimes the science guys are just not right with their applications. No, I understand why you may feel that way, Melanie, but I'll tell you this. I could brew you different strains of tea and you'll feel considerably different on each one. So, it all comes down to, it's funny, whenever I get this conversation with people, I find that there are people that haven't experimented enough with kratom, you know? Outcast Miss Jackson or Simon and Garfunkel, Mrs. Robinson. I think I'm going with, I'm sorry, Miss Jackson, ooh, on that one. Name 4 adult stars for a 90s Mount Rushmore. A 90s Mount Rushmore definitely has to have Jenna Jameson, of course. And I think you gotta have Janine Lindemulder in there. Tara Patrick for me, personally. And I think maybe we throw, if you want to mix it up, you might have to throw Asia Carrera in there as well. Scatman says it's just the same with amphetamine, the ADHD medicines. If amphetamine makes you calm and not hype, it's like you're not on the spectrum. Somewhat, there's ways of altering these things to change the effect that they have in your bottle. So when you change when the leaf is cultivated. So what I'm saying is this, Melanie, here, I'll give you a perfect example, right? If I took an apple tree and I gave you 3 different versions of the apple, one where the apple just started growing, right? One, when if it was perfectly ripe, and the other one, when it was on there so long, it's fallen off on the ground and rotten. Are they all apples? Yes. They all grew the same way. Right? Now, when you take a bite into each of those 3 apples, do you think you're going to have a different effect from each one? Or do you think that each one you're going to be like, apple, good? Think about it as that. It's the same thing. So when they cut the kratom, when it's cultivated, what I'm saying is the time in which it's cultivated, is it a young plant? Is it a mature plant? Is it almost dead? That changes, excuse me, that changes the way that the alkaloids are absorbed in your body. Palumbo literally meaning ringdove of Palambella, meaning wood pigeon. In the dialects of southern Italy, the Palumbo family crest depicts a dove and an olive branch in his beak. I haven't, where have you gotten this information, Bolshoi? The dove of peace. Amazing. The name Citronino derives from the hero Sternoi, who after the Trojan War founded a nearby town which was later occupied by the Romans, which they named Sternum, and today is the Kerman Astunai. Interesting. Have you shared this with those guys, Bolshoi? Interesting. Summer plagues, baby, you know it. Do I wear zip hoodies? Yes, I prefer zip hoodies to pullovers. I don't like pullovers. What is the name of your technique when you don't use condoms and pull out? I consider it also, but afraid of infection. It's the what do we call it? The pull-out method, the spray and pray. The spray and pray. Ultimate Orange was the bomb. That was my OG pre-workout. On this day in history, Nelson Mandela was released from prison. Listen, I encourage you. This is what I always encourage people to do, right? Figure things out for yourself. I had a guy that told me one day, it was one of the best things, I've never forgot it to this day. He said, sometimes in life, it's a lot more than the X's and O's drawn out on the chalkboard. Sometimes it's all about just getting on the field and playing. Metaphor, sometimes you gotta figure these things out on your own. Just because this says blah, 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 doesn't mean for you it will be that way. So it took me a few years of playing around to finally even get any benefit from kratom. Then from there, I started expanding my horizon, working and becoming friends with more people who specifically spend their lives dedicating to it. Through that kava bar down here in the kava, I was able to get in touch with some pretty intelligent people, and of course, become friends with a guy who I'm keeping his name out of everything, just because of how big of a player he is in the game. He's had to deal with Department of Agriculture and federal agents coming in and going through all his stuff. You want to see a lot of kratom in one spot? Woo. But yes, I'm friends with Kelly Dunn. I've had all kinds of discussions with different people, gotten different opinions, and I've just honestly tried it all myself, which is why I could also tell you that anyone who says that extracts aren't dangerous is a liar, is absolutely a liar. And they're just in it for money. And I loved extracts, but you won't see me getting on those extracts again. No, no, no. No, no, no. Imagine that somewhere in the third world country, Iraq or Guatemala, Palumbo, Singerman, Jason will have to work as professional beggars on the streets. Who do you think will beg biggest amount of cash? Well, I would say Singerman is the most persuasive. That being said, Genova is so annoying. He's so annoying that he may actually get the biggest amount. Oh, Jasmine St. Clair, forgot about her. Good one, Keith. Forgot about her. We're at almost an hour. I'm really putting it in today. Crazy Town, Revolving Door, or Methods of Mayhem, Get Naked. For some reason, I can't remember that song. Get Naked. I'll have to hear it. Childhood friend that used to take ADHD meds until high school. He stopped because of bullying. Then when he got older and tried amphetamine speed, he got calm and deep with his conversations. Very interesting. Heavy D and the Boys, Now That We Found Love, classic. Or Will Smith, Summer, Summer, Summertime. I still go with Heavy D and the Boys on that one. That was a very good one. About to get off here, guys. I'm hitting an hour. When you'll pass away, what will be the song you'd like to be turned on during your funerals when everyone will come to say goodbye? I would say, man, when I pass away, what song do I want at my funeral? Probably Big Sean, I'm thinking. I don't fuck with you, you little dumb motherfucker, I ain't fucking with you. I mean, what could be better than that? Whew. Goro or Motaro. Goro, definitely. Honestly, Jason still, to this day, is on a level of annoying that nobody else, as much as I love him, I actually had to tell him stop yesterday because he kept on asking me what time we would meet. And I said, I will tell you later. And then he kept repeatedly sending me question marks, right? Then when I wasn't responding to the question marks, he just started putting times out. And this was going on for a long period of time. So finally, I was like, dude, I told you I would tell you when I knew my day. I had to figure out if Marissa had appointments and this and that. And of course, I'm shooting a video on Wednesday. Eventually, we narrowed it down. Whew. Swim with the ancient dolphins. In case if baby has curly hair, weird giggling will be a little OCD, and we'll have other That's funny. That's very, very funny. And scary. Whew. Okay, guys. Did a whole hour today. Whew. A walk to remember. That was a sad one. Ooh, Notebook, also sad. Also very sad. I think we go with Notebook on that one. That was a good question to finish it out today. That's a tearjerker. All right, guys. Appreciate you guys doing this cardio Q&A with me. We'll be back tomorrow, as always, 9 a.m. Good session today. Appreciate you guys tuning in. Appreciate the questions and the laughs. Let's see. According to my watch, we did 483 calories on here. 625 total calories. Not too bad. Not too bad. All right, guys. You all have a wonderful day. That's quite the question marks. Don't you start that, Scatman. I love you guys all very much. God bless you guys. Peace out. Bye.